The lake sits in a valley surrounded by mountains. No roads lead here. The water is dark, almost black, fed by underground rivers. Local fishermen avoid this section entirely. When I asked why, they just pointed down and said one word: Pelos, the drowned city. I hired a local guide who agreed to take me to the coordinates, but he refused to enter the water. He would wait on shore. If I didn't surface in 2 hours, he was leaving without me. The dive began at dawn. The water temperature dropped immediately as I descended.
Legends sometimes point to truth. Locals called this place cursed. They were right to be afraid.
Two hours. You don't surface. I leave you to Pelos.
3 months ago, a 15th century map surfaced in a monastery archive. Hand-drawn by monks, it showed the precise location of what they called the city beneath the lake. A settlement that supposedly thrived for centuries before vanishing in a single night. Underground springs flooded the entire valley, swallowing everything. The monks wrote that the city's treasures still rest on the cavern floors, 40 meters below the surface. Modern historians say the city never existed. But the map was too detailed to be fiction. At 10 meters, visibility reduced to less than 3 meters. My lights could barely penetrate the darkness. At 20 meters, I found the cave entrance. A natural opening in the rock face, just wide enough for a diver with equipment. The current pulling into the cave was stronger than expected. Once inside, there would be no easy way back. The tunnel was tight. I had to remove my tank and push it ahead of me through some sections. The walls were covered in a strange white mineral deposit that reflected my lights like thousands of tiny mirrors. After what felt like an eternity of crawling through flooded stone, the passage opened into a cavern. My depth gauge read 40 meters. I was deeper than planned, and I'd used more air navigating the entrance than calculated. I had maybe 30 minutes before I needed to start ascending.
My oxygen was draining fast. I only had 30 minutes. Then, I saw them.
Scattered across the cavern floor like fallen leaves. Coins. Dozens of them. I picked one up. Heavy, handcrafted, with symbols I didn't recognize. Not Greek, not Roman, something older. Then I saw the pottery. Ceramic vessels, some intact, resting where they'd been placed centuries ago. The craftsmanship was extraordinary. These weren't crude artifacts. This was the work of an advanced civilization. But the chamber kept going deeper. My lights revealed what looked like worked stone blocks, not natural formations. These were carved, shaped, arranged with purpose. I followed them down to 45 meters, knowing I was pushing past safe limits. The blocks formed a wall, and in that wall, an archway. Beyond it, another chamber. I checked my air. 15 minutes. Barely enough time to look and return. Every instinct said to turn back, but I'd come too far. Inside the second chamber, I found structures. Not just scattered artifacts, but deliberate architecture. Stone pillars still standing. What appeared to be an altar or platform in the center. And on that platform, a stone tablet covered in inscriptions. I photographed everything, my hands shaking from cold and adrenaline. The inscriptions weren't in any language I knew. Not Latin, not any Slavic dialect. Something else entirely. My air alarm started beeping. 10 minutes. I grabbed one coin, one small ceramic piece, and took a final photograph of the tablet. Then I started the ascent. Pushing back through the tight passage was harder. The current fought me every meter. My regulator started breathing heavy. I was pulling the last of my tank's air. At 20 meters, I had to stop for a safety decompression. 3 minutes that felt like 30, hanging in the dark water, wondering if I'd miscalculated. I broke the surface with less than 5 minutes of air remaining. The guide was already in the boat, engine running. He took one look at my face and said something in his language I didn't understand. But its expression was clear. You saw it. You saw Pelos. I showed him the coin and the pottery fragment. His face went pale. He started the engine immediately. We needed to leave. Now. back in the village.
They will come for you now. We must go. Immediately.
I tried to research the inscriptions. The symbols matched nothing in any database. I sent the photographs to 3 different university archaeology departments. 2 never responded. The 3rd told me to stop looking into this. That night, I was visited by 2 men who claimed to be from the local cultural ministry. They wanted to know where I'd dived. They wanted the artifacts. They wanted all my photographs. I refused. 3 days later, the entire lake area was declared a restricted zone. No diving permitted. No access without government authorization. When I checked the monastery where the map was found, I was told those archives had been moved to the capital for preservation. The map itself had disappeared. The guide who took me to the lake left the region entirely. Won't return my calls. I still have the coin and the pottery fragment. I still have the photographs. The inscriptions remain untranslated. But I know what I saw down there. That wasn't just a collapsed settlement. Those structures were built with knowledge and skill that official history says didn't exist in this region during that time period. Someone built a city. Someone lived there. And someone went to great lengths to erase it from every record. The locals were right about one thing. That place is cursed. Not by spirits or ancient magic, but by whatever truth it holds that someone desperately wants to keep buried. I'm sharing these coordinates and this footage as documentation. Maybe someone with more resources can finish what I started. But I'm adding one warning. If you go looking for Pelos, understand that you're not just diving into an underwater cave. You're diving into a mystery that powerful people want to remain unsolved.